some clarity from God today, this morning, from a dream that I had, as well as just understanding what's happening right now, discerning the times. And when I was getting revelation and getting the interpretation of the dream that I had, it has something to do with not trusting, um, your flesh, not going off of what you want to happen. You want to have the truth. It's the truth that will set you free. It's the truth that you do not want to ignore in this time, so that you will not be deceived, so that you will not have a space of um, being left behind when God is pushing his people forward and the things that are to come. So, discerning the time right now, there are some wicked things happening. We see all over social media, we see all over the media in general. But in a sense of understanding what's happening, you have to know that whenever a country or a nation is in a space with God where covenant is broken, anything is liable to happen to that nation or that country based upon a broken covenant with God. And when a covenant is broken with God, it's like God takes off his protection. And it's not because of him, it's because of that nation not wanting that protection from God. Maybe from words, but not in the heart posture, not in their actions. So, plain and simple, no code. America is under a dark place right now. America is in a dark space right now because of broken covenant with God. God has removed a lot of his protection, not from the people who are surrendered to him, those who are in a position where you are surrendered to God, you have pled the blood of Christ over your household, over your family, you are protected. But right now, the whore America is definitely being ran through right now. We're just gonna say how I'm just gonna say it how it's coming. America is being ran through right now, and God is fed up. God is fed up. You must discern the times of what's happening right now. Yes, it's a new year. Yes, blessings are overflowing. Yes, an avalanche of blessings. But you still want to discern the time. Ask God for wisdom. Ask God for protection for your family. There was something, that I had to pray against with even myself, because you don't want to have a flesh mentality to feel sorry for anything or anyone. It's a turkey crossing the street right now. I'm gonna just show y'all this because this is funny. In the middle of, it's literally an entire turkey crossing the street. But anywho, y'all must discern the times. You must discern the times, because right now, with America being ran through, with America going through this season of transition and what's to come, and I've shared this on this channel. I've shared prophecies that God has given me since 2022, since 2022, and this has come to a expiration. That prophecy is coming to pass. Those prophecies, a lot of things that God has shown me, I'm seeing them come to pass. I'm seeing them manifest. And the warnings have been said. The warnings have been blasted all over media from different prophetic voices. And America, and I'm speaking about America as a nation, America is a nation, just like Israel, right? America is a nation, and America has been a great whore. We just have to say things how they are, and the truth right now is going to be so blunt, and the exposures are going to be so like in your face, because you have to see it. It has to be seen, it has to be exposed, the truth has to come out. You have to say it how it needs to be said. There is no more sugarcoating. There is no more just babying America. There's no more babying anyone, not even myself, the way God is dealing with me. So I shared something in a short this morning about walking to your leadership. With America going through this triumph and the transition for God's people, this is going to happen. But then it's going to transition to put in place for God's people to replace the people who have allowed such destruction. So the preparation for God's people throughout the whole time that America has been warned, the nation has been warned, God's people is going to come into place. Like David replaced Saul, is going to be a lot of that in leadership, a lot of that in government, a lot of that throughout the nation, from small to large parts of each industry. It's not just going to be at a large scale. It's going to be from someone that you may not even know ever heard of their small business, or you never heard of this small ministry that didn't have a lot of people. It wasn't a mega church, but there is going to be a replacement for God's true ones to arise, the true called ones that are ordained directly from God, like Paul. Saul to Paul, like from direct ordained by God. Like it's going to be evangelists, pastors, teachers, prophets, all apostles. It's going to be true men and women of God. And also some children are going to be anointed to do certain things as well. But it has to happen, because at the great fall of America, there will be a revival. There will be a remnant. There are going to be people that have been prepared, that God has provided provision for, to replace. That's the transfer of the wealth of the wicked to the just. From mantles to money to tangible things. And wealth is not just money. So wealth is multiple things, because we are the resource. We are supposed to be resources in the earth. So whatever we are going to provide from our gifts and talents, God has given us specific things. And it's such a urgency for you to step into that leadership. God has called you to step into that leadership. God has anointed you to step into that leadership. And like Jeremiah, how am I supposed to do this? I'm so young. Whatever your stipulation you believe that stops you from stepping into what God has called you to. Moses thought because he had a stuttering issue that God did call him to that space. But you have to remove all of self and trust God, because God is with you, and God is taking on the portion of you that is weak, the portion of you that cannot amount up to that leadership role. But you have to step into it. You have to discern the time to now step into that leadership, because it is you that will take on that mantle to do right by God's people, to do right and build for God's kingdom, so we can have the coming of Christ, and we will be saved. We will be saved. So this was not a long thing to share. It just is a message to tell the truth, to step into leadership, to discern the times. Do not feel sorry for certain things or people by flesh, because you would be deceived. And that person that, and I'm speaking of person, but I'm also speaking of different nations, or anything that you can discern at this moment, because this part is very not direct, but it is at the same time. You don't want to be deceived by flesh, person or a country in or a people in, and they do not have a good intent. And I'll just share something really quickly. If you ever seen a situation where you see something good in a person, but you know they have bad in them that they just cannot control. If a person gets in by just their good intentions or their good, and then that bad bulls up, you've allowed your weakness to allow that person to come in. God says, God, guard your heart. Guard your heart. Guard your mind. Guard those things, because you don't want to allow anything or anyone in. And this also is for America, but this is also you as an individual, because as you're stepping into leadership, you do have to have boundaries. You do have to have not walls so high that you don't allow anyone in, but you want to discern the times. You want to discern the people. You want to discern the spirits, test the spirit by the spirit, because though this person, you can see the good in them, also recognize the bad. Also have stipulations on what you can allow and what you cannot, and stand on it. God is a God of covenant. So whatever covenant that you are making, whatever covenants that you come into, know that you allowed something, and then you don't want to get into a whole entire situation, and then God has to clean up your mess when he's giving you a spirit to discern, to recognize something beforehand, the red flags. So going into leadership, taking on that role, it can seem like it's something overwhelming because you have a duty, a mission. But God has given us not a spirit of fear. God has given us a spirit that is his, the Holy Spirit, to discern, to teach us, and to help us, to comfort us. And God is with us as long as we trust him, and he will direct your path. He will show you who is who and who is not. So that's all, y'all. Enjoy this beautiful day. I pray that you all discern the times, step into your leadership, because it is time to step into it. Because those people who have allowed certain things, they are going to be removed. They are going to be removed, and the people, the true ones of God, are gonna take their place. All right, love y'all. Peace.